Leslie and I have known each other since early childhood. We grew up on the same country road in Mississippi.
I think why we're good for the community of Mississippi is because we're a product of this community. We are just two country guys, and we were embedded with what I call the diamonds of good character.
Come, join the family, and help us build the community.
Charles,
Leslie Peters.
man, what a week! What a week!
Boy, I almost didn't make it in here.
Man, there's a lot going on this week.
Oh boy, it's too much. Too much.
You know what? I a lot of good, and I already got hit up by somebody, one of the family of the show, that said, "Don't forget the freebie." So I won't forget. I will post the free credit course and the access to 100% discount. I did not forget. So just you guys just keep me honest and remind me of it before we finish the show today. But I know we got a lot to get into. And this is one of those times where I can't help. It's just been a lot. My phone has been blown off the hook today. I'm sure yours have. The rumor mill is going. I don't know what's going on. I tell people, I don't have no information. But I am feeling the energy, and I am feeling what's going around. So, I got something. I'll be right back, Charles. I'll be right back. I got something.
Okay.
I got a little something. We're gonna tell you how I'm feeling right about this thing right now. Let me do it like this. I'm feeling the energy of football season, because it's been a fall without HBCU football. So I was already feeling some kind of way, because normally I would have had a couple tailgates already. And without that, that's a big part of my fall experience. So the rumor mill got started probably about a week or so ago, and it really crunk up today. And I'm sure your phone's been ringing off the hook too. So I'm just gonna go on and knock it out the box before we even start the show. We just gonna
do this for me. I just sent you some on the chat line. Put that up and let's look at that.
Okay. Fine enough. All right, which one? You sent me a bunch of stuff on the chat.
No, I sent this inside our show.
Okay. Let me go check it out. All right. Hold on. Let me get it up. Okay.
Because I had a feeling you might I know how you do. You want to come with some shenanigans related to football season.
Of course.
Yeah, I got you. I'm not hating on it. I just thought I would drop that out there,
I think I got to read the part you got highlighted, because the highlight went off. Let me do that again, because
it's okay. Take your time.
I'm gonna read it without the highlight. They make
you're a little excited. Blow it up.
I am, because out of all my years of living, this is the first fall without football for me. In terms of HBCU football, because I was raised up in the culture. So, but I will say this: it says that the SWAC has now led attendance among all FCS conferences for 42 of the past 43 seasons. FCS programs were allowed to play up to 12 regular season games, one more than in 2018. According to the NCAA data, the average crowd size was 7,830. SWAC member institution Jackson State University was the FCS attendance leader, averaging 33,762 over 5 home games. Alabama State finished 4th, and Southern finished 7th. And there it is. 42 of the past 43 seasons, one institution has led.
Well,
All
that's
of
I mean
us has.
that's the SWAC leading overall. So let's not get carried away. But
Well,
we know who leads in attendance. Now there will be plenty of people watching the show today, and they will say, "But you haven't won in a very long time." That's not the point. The point is, everybody knows who the strongest fan base is in FCS football. Not just the SWAC, all of FCS. And that would be Jackson State University. The Blue Bengals. When the Blue Bengals take the field, they have fans there.
oh, was that a shout out? Was that shots fired? What was that over there?
I mean, I'm just stating facts.
Oh, okay.
I'm just stating facts, brother. But here's the thing. The reason why there's a buzz about is Jackson State will be naming a new head coach very, very soon. We don't know who that is.
We don't. We do not know who that is.
But I will say AD Ashley Robinson, our athletic director, is a very enterprising young man who has a vision for where he wants our athletic department to be. And so I'm very happy with his direction and leadership. So I think he will name a worthy head coach to take us to this new phase. And so since we're not playing football, most of Tiger Nation is excited and interested in knowing who it might be. Now, we're not here to give you the answer to that.
Just for Tiger Nation, because and again, I'm not going to get too excited because I really don't know who it is, but it's just the fact that something has happened in the world of football. That's all it takes to get me excited in terms of DI love. But just for the fan base, since we have been missing this, I got a little something for you. I got a little something for you today. So check me out, Charles.
Okay. Fire it up. Let's see what you got.
I got a little something.
Well, now. Well, I can't think of a better way to start today than to give a shout out.
Let's get it.
The Sonic Boom of the South.
Bring back memories?
Oh, always. You know, I happen to be a member of the most decorated edition of the Sonic Boom of the South.
Uh-huh.
And that's home. That feels
now, for many that may not know that your history with the Sonic Boom, why do you call your year one of the most decorated years? Because there is a reason.
Oh, well, I think we went and we marched at Motown, baby.
I think you did.
The Motown edition.
I think you did. You know, and so I don't. In fact, I remember when y'all went to Hollywood. I remember that well.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I was forced to sit there and obviously watch it on, you know, TV because I didn't get to go. But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's only one. So I'm gonna since you picking clips to play, I
already got you covered.
I would like for you to play that.
I already got you.
Motown 30. Such a beautiful sight.
Got a comment said, what year was that, Charles?
1990. Hollywood and Vine, baby. You probably should just let that roll for a second. Can't touch this.
Motown 30, what's going on? Starring Debbie Allen, Brandon Adams, Michael Bolton, The Boy.
For some people, that may be a little bit too far back in the way back machine, but
Here's Trent Darby.
seems like it was just yesterday.
The Four Tops.
Under the leadership of the illustrious Dow Taylor.
Color. Whoopi Goldberg. Robert Guillaume.
Long before other bands were doing it,
The Jackson State University Marching Band.
we did it.
Dale Christian. Patti LaBelle. Don Lewis. Arthur Mitchell stands theater of Harlem.
And I must tell you, there is nothing like the sound of Get Ready
Nothing like it.
on a fall day.
Robert Townsend and his partners in crime. Denzel Washington. David
If
Wayne.
there's anybody who's watching the show who has never experienced it, I would welcome you to Jackson with open arms so that you can experience the sonic boom of the South making its grand entrance into the stadium or any stadium near you where they are playing. Irvin head drum major. You can cut it right there. The boom is gone. That's the whole show right there.
Well. It was good to go back. Obviously, you can see we will. I think it's only fitting that one day I'm looking forward to soon doing a HBCU show, just a tribute to HBCUs, and we'll invite some other guests that can talk about the HBCU culture and what's unique about it. So there is a special love for that. So to all of us who have been having that void in our fall so far, just wanted to give you a little throwback, a little bit of shot in the dark, and also to bring you back some of the years when we were at DI Love, and those great years between 90 and 94. But we've had a lot of great years at DI Love in every generation. So, but a lot of good stuff going on. So just wanted to flash that back, Charles. And you know what, man? I just realized it's been 30 years.
Yeah, but you know what I was thinking? My very first trip to Jackson State was like 1977. You could still drive through campus then.
Oh, Charles, we got some comments for you, sir. Iris says,
Hey, just saying,
Joyce says you need to suit it up. It's your performance anniversary.
Ooh, my knee's too bad, Joyce. You see, we did the MC Hammer dance. No.
But there is a lot of excitement going on. And Jackson State is naming this new next head football coach soon. And there's a lot of rumors that's been going on. We're not going to say any names today, but you can just Google it, and it's easy to find. But just excitement around football season or football in a fall without HBCU football is exciting, period. So I know that that every other HBCU alum will feel the same about their respective schools of just kind of having that void. So it's always good to throw it back.
Isn't it interesting? We normally, for the last couple months, it's been doom and gloom and get ready, prepare yourself. But today, it's a different vibe. And think about this: while football is paused, pretty soon we'll have new members in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
That we will.
So,
and who are they, Charles?
I heard that the Rattlers and the Marching 100 want to come and try their thing in the SWAC.
Well, see, I didn't hear that they wanted to. I heard they were going to.
No, well, welcome aboard, FAMU.
That's right. And
anybody else, Leslie?
And also, there's this school down in Daytona Beach.
Daytona, Florida. Oh, okay.
You may have heard of them. I think we played them a couple years ago in Atlanta.
Bethune-Cookman?
The Bethune-Cookman will be joining the SWAC conference. And in fact, in the fall of 2021 in September, Labor Day weekend, meet us in Miami to properly welcome and introduce FAMU to the SWAC conference.
Well, now, something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. Exciting times. So let's get into it, man. We just had to have, we've been hitting it hard with all the things of what's kind of not so right in the world. And I just wanted to give us a little pause and breath of fresh air today and talk about some of the things that are right and get us off with some good energy. So yes, it's good times in Jacktown. We're excited. We're it's all of that, but we wanted to just share that with you. I see the comments have heated up, so let me see what we got over here, and we'll dive into it. All right, but yes, to answer your question, Alita, yes, FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, yes, that's correct. We'll be joining the SWAC conference and Labor Day 2021. Yep, Miami, here we come. So it should be exciting times. Is it Marching 100 or Marching 1000?
100.
Marching 100 will tee off against the Sonic Boom of the South and the Jackson State Tigers. The Blue Bengals of the world will tee off against the Rattlers of FAMU, Tallahassee, Florida.
Down on the Seven Hills, huh?
That's right. And I remember when we made the trip down to Tallahassee. We played them 1 year while we were in school. I remember that trip. You didn't go, Charles.
No, I did go.
Yeah, I remember that, man. You left me hanging, but we had fun without you, though.
That's all right. I was otherwise taking care of a conflict of interest.
So let's get into it, man. What's the state of COVID? What are the COVID numbers? Get me up to speed. And the reason why I say that, we have heard announced in the past week that the Big Ten will now resume. And let me back up a little. The Big Ten, who had canceled football for the fall originally, have reversed that decision, and they will resume football in October. And now I hear the Pac-10 may be doing the same thing. So have at it.
Notwithstanding my own personal views, football, I guess it's back, Leslie. That does not mean that we're rounding the corner on COVID-19. It just means football is back.
No, and I think when we look at it, I was looking at the numbers just last week. So even in Texas, so now football is not back as we know it, and they're doing some things to play the game in a safe way. But just if we look at what the University of Texas did last week, they were testing. So they only gave out student tickets. I think 1,198 students were allowed to come to the game, and they normally have a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah.
And 14% of them tested positive for COVID because they're testing them at the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And so understand that everybody that's, at least for Texas, and I don't know about the other conferences, but I know that in Texas Stadium, everybody that went into the stadium, that were admitted into the stadium had to test negative for COVID. So they were testing them at the stadium. So so that was good. And then even at that, they still spaced them out. And so they only had, they have a humongous stadium, but I think they only had maybe 16. I don't even know if they had 16,000. So that's some of the things they were doing last week. So it's not back to normal, and I don't think they had tailgating back. But football, as far as the game on the field, that has been back. But you did see some things that were new. You saw officials wearing masks. You saw the coaches are required to wear masks on the sideline. So, even the water boy. So football looks different, but it is back.
It's back. But what good does a mask on the sideline do you if you're coming in contact? There is no social distancing when you're blocking.
No.
There is
and that goes to the as far as the players. Now they're tested daily. Now my curiosity is, I get that the big conferences can do that, but what is the NCAA doing to ensure that all conferences that are going to play sports can do that, have the capacity to do that, to test daily to the student athletes?
Well, that's going to take a huge infusion of resources, money.
Right. Exactly. So I guess what I look at there is this new normal that we're seeing the big conferences partake in, is that scalable for everybody?
Well, we'll have to see, because the SWAC is slated to have not a full, but a modified schedule in the spring. So we'll see how far we are along. But I'm torn. I'm still torn, because you have almost 200,000 U.S. citizens who are deceased as a direct result of how we handled COVID-19, and there's an estimated 215,000 more by January.
Yeah. And, just popping up some of the comments that we're getting, Shonda says they tested for COVID, but did they test for antibodies? That's a different test. I have no idea. Let me put my disclaimer. I'm not in healthcare, so some of you healthcare folks will have to definitely chime in and help us out with that. I don't know, but I just know they did some form of testing, and what that form is, I don't know. At least put up that they currently have 50 high school football players in quarantine at her school. And so, that's a concern, because we see high school is playing, we see pretty much everybody is playing, and I'm like, how just like they ask people to social distance, how can we? I know some of these high schools are not testing, and they certainly don't have the resources to test daily. So, and I've seen some of the high school protocols where on the sidelines now, where you have to be between 30 and 30, and now they've extended that to 10 to 10. They're only allowing players to invite 3 people to the game. Cheerleaders are now not allowed to be on the field. But what does that do for the players? Because I'm like you with that. I haven't played the game for many years. There is no way you play football and social distance. You can't get a sack, social distancing. You can't make a tackle, social distancing. You can't block, social distancing. How do we play this game at the basic level and fundamental levels of high school? I've seen, now we got Pop Warner playing in some places. How do we play that game at that level without the resources to adequately test, to ensure? How do we do that? How are we okay with that as a society? Just a thought.
Part of that, and this is me connecting dots. You heard the president say earlier this week that the virus will magically go away, and it will go away because of herd mentality. So to help the president out, herd mentality is not a scientific term. What that means is you're playing roulette with the lives of roughly, if we were to go with herd immunity, which is the proper terminology, that means roughly 4 million citizens have to die in order to inoculate the full population of 325 to 330 million. So when I hear our leadership saying that we've turned the corner, this is the result you will get. People will clamor for it normal. Football in the fall is normal. Football in the fall during COVID is not. But it's emblematic of trying to show that things are okay. And so thus football has become a political device.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you not only put those players at risk when they block and tackle and throw and catch and run, but their families are at risk when they come off the field. Other students are at risk when they come off the field. That is how you end up with 50 players at a high school in quarantine.
Yeah, good point. That's a lot. That's a lot of. I mean, that's we're in what, week 2, maybe week 3 of football season for high school.
Depends. Mississippi been playing maybe 4 weeks.
I mean, those are the questions, guys. And so when we look at it, I want us to be very clear on kind of where we stand. I think when I look at things, I have to ask, is this something? Because when we look at football is not just played on the professional level. It's not just played on the college level. It's not just played at major schools where they have the financial resources and backing. Football is played at every budget size, every school size, every geographic location, every level, from Pop Warner all the way up to professional, and they don't have the same resources. So if we can't scale safety from the top to the bottom, then I have to always ask the questions, how are we scaling? Because the issue still is safety. It's never changed. The issue has never been anything other than safety. And so how do we scale safety at every level?
That's right.
And that's the question. You know, and you know I love football. You know I love the sport. It is my game. I love the sport. But I still have to ask that question, is how do we scale safety at every level? And I'm not really clear about that heck, I'm not even clear about it on the HBCU college level. I'm not clear about it on the high school level for sure. And I'm definitely not clear about it anywhere underneath high school. So and I'm not really seeing any outrage. I'm not really seeing any mass media attention brought to it. So the question becomes this, Charles: is football so much of a moneymaker that it can silence the critics to allow the game to be played?
Yes. And when you add to that there are those who are opportunists and using football as a symbol to say that COVID is behind us, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's how the Big Ten ended up back on the field.
That's true. It's very true. And it was through the numerous protests, and particularly of star players and star student athletes that wanted to play. And I get it, but there's an extra motivation in terms of why they wanted to play. And I think we can't dismiss that part or act like that part doesn't exist.
Oh, they'll tell you it's not about money. It's about opportunity, the opportunity to play, and especially on the high school, the argument has been that they're losing a recruiting season. But my retort to that is, you can't play football anyway if you contract COVID-19 and die. It's just that simple.
Sure enough. So, audience, I'd love to hear your comments on this. As you guys are from all over the place and different areas, I'd love to get your feedback. So, yeah, hit the comment section. Let us know what you're thinking on this, particularly at all levels, right? Are we safe? Do you feel like we're safe playing the game of football or any of it right now, and can every level maintain the safety standards that they're doing at the pro and college level, and I mean Division I single A level, and really even at that, we're really talking about the major conferences.
Power 5.
Talking about the Power 5. So I love to hear the feedback on that. And all right. And so get your comments in, and I get them posted up, and we'll talk about it. So yeah, Charles. So it's interesting. We're seeing safety has, at first safety was mentioned over and over and over again, and now it seems like anybody that wants to keep pushing the agenda of safety is taken off the air. They're no longer visible. They're muted. And we don't hear that. We don't hear that phrase anymore. We don't hear that message anymore. And so I think that's been intentional, but I think it's also dangerous, because I think we can never take our eyes off safety. We still have to move with precautions. We have to still move in calculated ways. We still have to be astute and consistent about our safety protocols.
Well, one of the primary reasons why we are still on edge and people are still dying at an alarming rate is because we have failed to have a national strategy to deal with this. 50 different strategies, which then is broken down into many more strategies because it's left up to, mayors, and that's not really a coherent way to deal with something of this magnitude, because COVID doesn't care if you play football or not. It's going to infect whoever it can get into as a host.
Well, good point. At least just gave us some additional information. She said she just got a message. School is closed Monday, and season is halted for our players until October.
Right, because we know. What do we know? We know it's airborne. We know that fact was hidden from us.
Yeah.
We know that we were told it was a hoax, that it was a China virus, that it was everything except what it should have been. And I think we talked about this many months ago, the need for leadership and the underlying tenet of leadership, because there are many different ways to lead.
Right.
But the underlying tenet to leadership is the truth. If you equip people with the truth, then you always have naysayers. But if everyone gets the same truth at the same time, it's harder for disinformation to then begin to chip away at the psyche and the morale of the nation. And that's what's happening. We talked about the motorcycle rally going on like, oh, it's nothing going. It's just another good day for a motorcycle rally. Well, guess what? When they started tracing those cell phones back all across the country, the virus was traveling with the phone, which means the phone was traveling with the person who was infected.
Wait a minute. What you just wait a minute. What you just say, Charles?
I mean, it's real simple. Let me see if I can find you find this so you can share it.
Yeah, find that, because that's got even me puzzled. So let's see. The virus traveled with the phone.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
All right, here you go. I'm gonna let you put this up.
All right. Where'd you send it?
Internal. And you can see it right there. You can look at the map and watch it coursing through America.
Wow. This was just from the motorcycle rally?
Yes, sir. No. Sturgis, 2020.
All right, let me get this up on the screen here.
One of the largest bike rallies in the world.
Visitors over a 10-day stretch. The Sturgis motorcycle. With an expected crowd of more than 250,000 visitors over a 10-day stretch, the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in South Dakota is shaping up to be one of the largest public gatherings since the start of the pandemic. We decided to partner with Xmode Social and SafeGraph to see the real footprint of the Sturgis Rally across the nation. First, we'll slice into data from Xmode, narrowing our view to anonymized mobile device location records in Sturgis and surrounding cities leading up to the event. Next, we'll exclude records from devices consistently active in the region prior to the rally in order to narrow our analysis to only visiting event attendees. By zooming back out to the national level, we can see where else these devices were active in the days leading up to the event, and actually watch migration patterns as visitors from almost every state in the nation congregate in South Dakota at the outset of the Sturgis Rally.
Had no idea.
Right. So you tell me if we've turned the corner. We're still averaging about 40,000 cases a day nationwide. That's way too high. We're on the edge of flu season. So we're on the edge of a season change. And look at what happened with the season change in Europe. They're already seeing an explosive amount of new cases. Matter of fact, I think they had one estimate, they had 54,000 in one 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Which is causing them to rethink the opening of schools and possible new shutdowns. And for some reason, it seems like the collective leadership here in America thinks that we are standalone, that trends in other parts of the world have no bearing upon how it is going to affect us. Similar to how they acted when New York was flooded with COVID cases, and they were like, it's a New York issue. It's not a Southern issue. Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, and I just want to pull this up because I always bring us back to this point and show us where we are. And here's the story. So I didn't know about it traveling via cell phone, but what I can tell you, I have been watching the numbers climb just as we've been talking about it. Guys, when we started really posting these numbers and looking at the national numbers, we were at 143,000 deaths. Just to put that in perspective, that's been 8 weeks ago, right? Yep. And so we're talking about 2 months. We've watched these numbers climb. Now we're at 197,000 dead. 116. Over 6.6. We're closer to 7 million than we are to 6 million at this point.
That's right. And quickly climbing.
And in the last 7 days in the U.S., we've had 276,151 cases. So you do the math. And I'll go back again. And I told you over a 20-year period, Vietnam killed 245,000. In less than a year, we're at 197,000. We got problems.
Yeah,
we are not beyond the point where we can take precautions. We're not beyond the point where we can be lackadaisical about it. COVID-19 is still wreaking havoc. COVID-19 is still controlling us, we're not controlling it.
That's right.
And I hear the opposite side of that, and I get often those stairs and say, hey, we can't just live this way and let COVID change the way we live. You don't have a choice. COVID has changed the way we live. Now, so there's a difference between something changing the way you live and changing the way you react to it, and for something changing who you are.
That's right.
Yes, it has changed. Everything changes how you respond to it. I would hope that most of us, as we age, that at 20 we don't act the way we acted when we were 10. I would hope we've learned something. I would hope at 40 we don't behave as if we were 20. The reality is life experiences are going to cause you to change the way you handle something. It doesn't have to change who you are. And so the fact of the matter is COVID will forever change. 9/11 forever changed how we got on airplanes and how airports handle security. The West Nile changed how we handled in terms of the flu. Look, it's going to change. It's already has. So what we have to do is still be diligent, and we have to still take precautions, and we have to still talk about it because it's still in control of us. We're not in control of it.
Oh yeah, there's a tendency as the longer it goes on for people to get lax and to force themselves to want to do things that they could do before. My suggestion is those things will be there eventually, but listen to the scientists, because at this point leadership has failed us. But the scientists are working on this 24 hours a day, and now they have data that's it's speeding up the process of how they plan and what suggestions they make. So don't give up on science. Don't get caught up in the politics of it. The link between COVID and voting is this: if you want to get out of it, you better vote. Yeah. I mean, that was ingenious for whoever did that mapping to think about. Let's just track the cell phones and see where people are coming from and where they're going back to.
Right. I think there is something to be said for taking calculated risk over taking. What's the word I'm looking for?
For being reckless, yeah.
I was trying to find a way to put a bow on it, but no, you just I guess there is no way other than just to give it straight with no chaser. But the reality is, to not wear a mask is being reckless.
Yeah,
to wear your mask is being calculated and proactive, and so I think that's what we're saying. We have to. And I always tell people, if you don't choose to do it for you, that's fine. Would you please do it for me? Because see, here's the thing: you don't live in this world by yourself, and so there are spaces that we have to share. And I can promise you, I'm not going to be in it long. I'm only here because I have to be here at this very moment. Otherwise, I wouldn't be. And I can promise you, I'm not going to be here long. But while I'm here, if you don't want to put it on for you, that's fine. Put it on for me. I'm okay with taking a hit.
Yeah, and since we're talking about that, I just sent you something on Glip that I want you to put up on the screen because I want to talk about this real fast. Okay. And then I want to talk about voting to close it out. But I almost forgot until you said that. Put that up on the screen. It's a infographic.
You got it. Coming up.
The 4 COVID personality types. Here we see on the left-hand side, this person has proper mask application. They believe in science. Right next to it, there's a mask over the mouth and not over the nose.
Oh.
Doesn't understand science, meaning that they have not acknowledged that air particles can travel in and out of their nose, therefore putting their neighbor at risk. The bottom left-hand corner, mask on chin. There's an overabundance of mask on chin. These people believe in pixie dust, fairy tales, and magic, because wearing some protective gear over your chin will not save you from contracting or distributing deadly COVID air particles. And then there are those who deny science. We know who they are. They don't want to wear a mask, so they want to put all of us at risk.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. That second one right there, so doesn't understand science. Oh my goodness! If you don't cover your nose, I mean, you know, and I'm unapologetic about it, because now at first I will say I was like, I would be out because we had to be out. My wife has been dead on it the whole way. You know, between you and her, y'all keep me in COVID safety, because y'all force me to, even when I want to be lackadaisical, y'all make sure I'm not. But I can remember us going to a particular eatery to pick up something. It was just grabbing some ice cream. And my wife, literally, because the lady that was making mine she had the mask on like the person doesn't understand science. And so she was signaling to me. Now the person that made my daughters believes in science, so that's how their mask was on. So she signaled to me, you throw that away, I'll buy you another one, and we'll have that person make it, because that right there, and I couldn't get it at the time.
Yeah.
And I resisted her and fought her on that at the time. But boy, do I get it now, and boy, am I grateful that she's been so steadfast on it. But now I am the advocate for that. So when I see people out, I say, hey, I need you to cover your nose too. The mask is for your nose too. At least till I get out, you know. And that, but the chin thing, I just don't get. You might as well not have one on. You might as well just be like the person that denies science altogether. Because who are you helping by putting it on your chin?
You just got a hot, stinking chin.
I mean, why?
Because it's not providing any protection, no barrier against taking in air particles or blowing out air particles. I just thought I would share that. I mean, you know, hey, I'm just an old country lawyer from Mississippi. But when I saw this, I said, aha, maybe this will help.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's the best one I've seen so far.
Yep. Now, switching gears. We've been talking about making your plan to vote. I want to tell you a few more things about that. I sent you an article from North Carolina, because North Carolina was the first state to start voting. They've already started, and we've got some data back, and I wanted to show you why it's important to make a plan to vote.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are voting by mail for the first time, so they may not understand all the things that go into voting by mail, and it's different by your state law. And so, but this is instructive, because this is what I have been worried about. There are many ways to affect an election, and there's always going to be some spoiling of ballots. North Carolina does have a process that's known as the curing process. So if you know anybody in North Carolina and they've already voted by mail, they will get something from the Secretary of State's office or the Board of Elections that tells them, hey, it's a problem with your ballot. But this points out that there is a rejection of black voters' mail-in ballots more than white voters. This is not good news, people, because these people have already started voting, and this is concrete evidence coming from Nate Silver at 538.com, who is one of the go-to forecasters, great information. He tracks stats on just about everything from football to elections. So this caught my eye, and I just thought I would share it. And Leslie can put it somewhere where you can read through it. But there's a higher rate of rejection. And when they say rejection, it could be something as simple as not signing the back of the envelope. It could be not including the extra envelope that's in there for security purposes, or it could be the oath portion where you have to sign off that it's you who has, actually voted. Any number of reasons. All the more reason to actually go and study how you need to vote in your jurisdiction. Find out what the rules are and apply those rules only. Okay? Along those same lines, Leslie, I sent you some information from a ruling that came down from the court, and this has to do with disenfranchisement. You will see that the judge has some really strong words in his opinion, and so I wanted to share that because I told you the shenanigans were coming, and here they are.
Okay. Was that the one on the...
Let's see.
I don't see that one.
Judge confirms United States Postal Service changes.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. This is courtesy of Talking Points memo. The judge made this ruling on Thursday, and he got into the president and his postmaster general, Mr. DeJoy, for coming up with these evil schemes to try and influence the election. The president has been on a tear questioning the efficacy of the vote, and because there's mail-in ballots at a higher rate. One thing that I will point out, truth versus fiction, is there are states who have had all mail-in elections for years. Other states have attempted to do this to try and honor social distancing and not put people at risk of contracting COVID. If they can cut down on the number of people who have to vote on the actual election day, then that is good for public health. But it also allows people to be able to vote. But here you can see the judge is just laying it out real plain. I believe the judge said that the United States Postal Service is recognized as a tool in partisan politics in the way that it was being used.
No doubt. Pretty plain, pretty cut and dry. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen the removal of mailboxes. Like, why now and why during this time? Just removal, and then they've said, "Hey, we were removing them, but we were replacing them, but the replacements weren't there." So it's like, well, no. If you're removing a mailbox, something such as a mailbox that people use every day, then you need to be replacing it at the same time you take it. So my concept of that is, okay, you remove one that's damaged, and you immediately put the new one up at the same time. So the person that's removing it is also the person that's replacing it. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you fill up trucks full of mail containers, and then you take them away, and there's just nothing there. And then for days, there's nothing there. So that's not repairing a mailbox, because, no, I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
Yep. I mean, it's sad, but we know it's here. We do know it's here, so I just want people to be aware of it. And one of the ways, and this is not just true of 2020, but one of the ways that we are affected every election season is that the parties are in litigation around voting rights, expanding, contracting. We talked about Georgia last week, where they purged a lot of people from the voter roll. Mississippi, I believe Judge Denise Owens ruled that people with pre-existing conditions should be able to have expanded absentee voting rights. Our own Secretary of State and Attorney General went to the Supreme Court of Mississippi and got that overturned. They said the mere fact that you have a pre-existing condition does not automatically provide you with expanded voter rights. Why could that be? Seems like you should want to make it easier to vote instead of harder to vote. But usually, voter disenfranchisement throughout the years is based on a strategy. And that strategy is to keep the number of votes low so that you can then affect your candidate's outcome.
You would think. You would absolutely think. But I have learned under this current leadership is that what you would think or what you would expect is not what you get.
No, I mean it's painfully obvious that anyone who would refer to our veterans and the fallen as losers and suckers, and then say that COVID is a good thing because that means he doesn't have to shake hands with those people because they are disgusting. Who, by the way, those disgusting people he's talking about are his supporters who think the world of him. So that's extremely troubling.
It is indeed. And so more reason than ever that we must stop this foolishness come November. We must vote. We must. And I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again. That was a song, right? I said it before, I'll say it again. Okay. But we have to vote more than ever right now. And, I gave you the stats and the numbers on it last week. Our president has appointed 198 judges during his tenure. These are lifetime appointments.
He appointed more this week.
Oh, God. Well, now we're over 200.
Yeah.
So we over 200 judges. These are lifetime appointments. That's going to affect us for years to come. Nothing we can do about it. What we cannot afford, that's bad enough. We certainly can't afford to give him 4 more years to then really destroy the whole justice system. If you think the justice system is bad now, you talk about 200 some judges, now imagine 500.
Well, even before you get to thinking about the political aspect of the judiciary, Leslie, think about this. The person who is leading us knew and downplayed the fact that COVID was extremely, extremely potent. That means his failure to act has killed American citizens.
190, what was it? 190 something thousand. It's a lot, right?
Almost 200,000 American citizens dead because of failure to act. And not often do you get to question a person's motive, but this is President Donald Trump versus Donald Trump. His own words lay it out plain. I downplayed it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. And he said, I intentionally downplayed it.
Yeah. And to this day, still downplaying it because Dr. Redfield from the CDC testified before Congress on yesterday or day before, and he said, mask right now more important than the vaccine because the vaccine that you're being promised really won't get here until third quarter of 2021. And the president said he didn't understand the question. Now, this man is accomplished. He is the head of the Center for Disease Control and has way more education and help.
Wait a minute. The president said that. Oh, man, we can't make this up. The president said that he didn't, not he meaning the president, but
Dr. Redfield.
The CDC.
He obviously did not understand the question. Didn't understand the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to Mr. President, I would say, and I don't understand your answers for me, but look, it's simple. This is critical. Wear the mask. I mean, and here's the reality. If you look at before the pandemic, if somebody would say, and we've done, I went back and thought we've done far more when it wasn't even life or death. So let me give you an example. Most of the times, most of us don't think of mosquitoes as life threatening. As we think about it every day. Now, I do understand it can be with West Nile and some of these other. But here's the thing: if you go somewhere right now and you know it's a mosquito place that's heavily where you get bit with mosquitoes, we all are grabbing off or something, and we have no problem putting it on.
That's right.
Put on a darn mask.
That's right.
Same thing, same concept. If put on the mask. It's just that simple. You it's not like you're forced to be with somebody for like forever and ever. I mean, it's only for a certain amount of time, and then when you go home, take it off, get in your car, take it off. But look, it's a simple thing to do. It's not even overwhelming. It's just a simple ask. Put on the mask. That's it. That's my 2 cents on that one, y'all.
That's a good 2 cents to have, brother. If you ever want to go back outside again, and if you ever want to go to the bar again, if you ever want to go to the movies again, put on a mask. It'll help cut the numbers down, help slow the rate of infection, which will then help slow the rate of death, and hopefully new leadership is on the way.
Hopefully. Charles, we're at the top of the hour and it's time to get out, but I did promise the audience. So here it is, because I almost forgot, and then y'all didn't remind me. But here it is. I promised a freebie. So let me post this up, and I will put the link in the chat right now too. So here's what I'm gonna do. Everybody that fills out this form right now will, when we release the course next week, in the next 2 weeks, we'll get the course free, 100% off. We'll send you a code that will allow you to get the course free. It is a credit basic course that gives you everything you need to really understand how to tune up your credit, make sure you understand the principles of how it works, what are the little things you can do. And then obviously here, so that link will take you to a page that looks like this, and you just fill out 4 quick questions: your name, email, phone number, get 100% off, and that will qualify. So everybody that does it today, because it is date stamped. So listen, guys, it's date stamped. So if it doesn't come to me today, you're not going to get that 100% off. So go ahead and fill it out. It's only 4 things you're entering, and you're done. And then I will do it. And yes, this is Leslie talking free. I'm about to choke right now because I'm saying free, and I don't do free.
Oh my goodness.
This is painful. So you better get it quick, because I'm telling you, as soon as today is over, I mean, I have it set for as soon as the clock hit midnight Central Standard Time, this deal goes away. But so get it now. In fact, let me get this off the screen because that's enough. And there you have it. That's the free course, credits basic course, everything to know about credit. We walk you through everything from late pays, how to understand credit card, how to understand utilization. We break down the 5 parts of credit, what they are, how many points each category is worth. We break down the myths from the facts. It's just a good basic foundation course that will really give you some tools and some things you probably wasn't even aware of that can get you moving in the right direction. So that course, that course is $69, $69.49. You get it free if you fill this out today. So tomorrow won't do. So I hope some of y'all do wait till tomorrow, because then I am validated and saying no deal. But today,
it's terrible.
I know that's terrible. But this it's like right now I'm itching because I'm saying free. See,
yeah,
like is it? But there it is. There it is.
That's an investment in our audience.
There it is. So I'll put it out there. If you don't take advantage of it, that's on you. But it is out there right now for you to take advantage of. And the link is in the comment section, so you can just go on there and fill it out. And then when we launch the course, you will get an email with the course launch with the code that will allow you to get the 100% off of the course. So looking forward to that. All right. Charles, any last words before we get out of here, my friend? And I do have something to send us out. But just
send us on out.
all right.
Everybody have a safe weekend, and we will see you back here next Friday.
Absolutely.